This meeting of the Community Development Board is called to order on December 21st, 2021. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This board consists of 7 members and 1 alternate who are appointed by the City Council and serve voluntarily. I'm Mary Lau, and I will ask the other members and staff to introduce themselves, beginning on my left.
Brian Barker.
Gordon Behar.
Jay Daniel, attorney for the board.
Gina Clayton, Planning and Development.
Matthew Minich, Assistant City Attorney.
Mike Flannery.
John Quattrocki.
Please remember to turn off your cell phones so that they do not become a distraction during the meeting. Please also refrain from having conversations in this room so that we might hear all of the testimony given today. To ensure a complete record of this board's actions, we ask that each individual wishing to speak, including the applicant, speak into the microphone at the podium in front of us. Clearly state your name and spell your last name for the clerk. Now I'll ask all those in attendance who plan to speak today to please rise and be sworn by the clerk.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give is the entire truth? I do. Thank you.
Agendas of today's meeting are on the podium to your left near the entry door. Also on this podium are a roster of the Community Development Board, the list of city staff experts and their resumes, the board's rules of procedure, and the annual schedule of this board. Our first order of business is to review and approve the minutes from last month's meeting. May I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. The next item on our agenda today is for citizens who wish to be heard on any item that is not on today's agenda. If you'd come forward. And again, please state your name and spell your last name for the clerk,
Yes.
please.
Good afternoon, Christine. Chris Michalek, M-I-C-H-A-L-E-K, recently called La Fiera. Look it up. To the Clearwater Community Development Board. This is a memorandum that I have put before you. On behalf of the 466 families living on Clearwater Point, I am respectfully requesting to be included as an agenda item on the CDB board meeting scheduled for Tuesday, January 18th, 2022. The Clearwater Citizens Guide to Community Development Board states that a person granted party status not satisfied with the board's decision can file an appeal within 14 days of the board's decision pursuant to section 4-502B of the code. But it continues, the hearing officer cannot reverse the decision of the board. At the same time, the guide addresses fundamental fairness, an important concept in quasi-judicial hearings, because CDB hearings are not a court of law, but as such, a normal court rules do not apply. Fundamental fairness is defined in the dictionary as impartial and just treatment or behavior without favoritism or discrimination. When reflected in the law, it means that one party is not allowed an unequal advantage over another party. Since A, the appeal officer cannot reverse the decision of this board, B, no other procedural process for an aggrieved party has been established by the Clearwater Planning and Development Department, and C, the guide notes the importance of fundamental fairness, I request to be included on the CDB agenda for January 18th, 2022. My intent will be to present evidence and testimony supporting that the Clearwater Community Development Board did not adhere to fundamental fairness in their decision of September 21st, 2021, case FDLD 2021, which is about 850 Bayway Chart House, and has discriminated against 465 Clearwater Point families, plus also historically, time after time, has been prejudiced towards other Clearwater neighborhoods communities continually favoring developers represented by Attorney Brian Ongs Jr. I ask for the respect given to me to speak next month at that meeting. Thank you.
And Daniel, I assume that there's a process for responding to that we don't have to take this up today.
I didn't hear your question, Madam Chairman.
We don't have to take this up today as a board, that there's some
You don't take it up
process.
at all.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
And actually, your ability to put things on the agenda is really proscribed by the city's code.
All right, thank you. The next part of our agenda is what we call the consent agenda. This board has adopted a consent agenda format, and the consent items are identified as such on the agenda. Consent agenda items are those items for which the Planning and Development Department recommends approval. The applicant is in agreement with any proposed conditions, and no written objections to the case have been received to date. Items may be removed from the consent agenda today by a member of the board, a member of the staff, or any person in the audience for questions or objections. I will read each item on the consent agenda, and if any person wishes to remove this item from the consent agenda, please so state or raise your hand, and we will remove it from the consent agenda. Items removed from the consent agenda will be heard in the regular order of the meeting. Items that remain on the consent agenda will be approved with a single vote. We have two items that are level 2 applications. The first one is case FLD 2021-09017 at 125 Island Way. The owner is Dolphin Cay of Island Estates LLC. The representative is Woods Consulting Inc. The location is at 125 Island Way, on the east side of Island Way, approximately 351 feet north of the Windward Passage and Island Way intersection. The board is reviewing a request for a 1,838 square foot dock in the high-density residential Island Estates neighborhood conservation overlay district for the property at 125 Island Way. The dock is 150 feet in width and approximately 69 in length, and requests allowable flexibility for square footage of a commercial dock greater than 500 square feet in area. Is there anyone that would like to remove this item from today's consent agenda? Right. Our second level 2 case on the consent agenda is case FLD 2021-10019 at 407 Pennsylvania Avenue. The owner is Chelsea Marie Gerd. I hope I'm saying that correctly. The location is at 407 Pennsylvania Avenue, 0.16 acres located on the east side of Pennsylvania Avenue, approximately 150 feet south of the intersection with Plaza Street. The board is reviewing an existing deck and proposed porch for a detached dwelling in the medium-density residential zoning district for the property at that address. The project requests allowable flexibility from setback requirements, Community Development Codes, Section 2-304G. Is there anyone that would like to remove this item from today's consent agenda? All right. We next have on the consent agenda 2 level 3 applications. The first is TA 2021-11004, amendments to the Community Development Code. And the applicant is the City of Clearwater. And the request to the board is a request to amend the City of Clearwater's Community Development Code to provide incremental density bonuses for mixed income projects and provide other incentives for affordable housing, such as parking and building permit fee reductions, to repeal and replace the city's home-based business regulations, to affirm that the Community Development Board is the city's design review board, and to amend the city schedule of fees to provide reduced fees for the use of private providers for plans review and inspections and affordable housing projects, and is making a recommendation to the City Council. Is there any person that wishes to remove this item from the consent agenda? Our final item on the consent agenda today is also a level 3 application. The case is CPA 2021-11001, amendments to the comprehensive plan. Again, the applicant is the City of Clearwater. The Community Development Board is reviewing a request to amend the Clearwater Comprehensive Plan to create a new property rights element based on House Bill 59, 2021, to add provisions to encourage diverse housing options through density bonuses for certain development types, to clarify policy intent, and to update certain maps based on updated SLOSH modeling, and making a recommendation to the City Council. Is there anyone who would like to remove this item from today's consent agenda? May I have a motion for approval of the two Level 2 cases on our consent agenda?
Sure. I move to approve items 1 and 2 on today's consent agenda based on evidence in the record, including the application of the staff report, and hereby adopt the findings of fact and conclusions of law stated in the staff reports with conditions of approval as listed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right. Those two items are approved. May I have a motion for the two Level 3 application, for making a recommendation to City Council approving the two Level 3 items on today's consent agenda?
I'm happy to do it. Let's see. Make sure I got the right one here. Move to recommend approval of this item based on the findings of fact, conclusion of law, and the staff report, and that is for items TA 2021-1104 and CPA 2021-11001.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Right, those Level 3 applications will be making a recommendation to City Council for approval. Our final item on today's agenda is also a Level 3 application. All Level 3 cases, such as a plan amendment, rezoning, or development agreement, are considered legislative hearings. The Community Development Board reviews the application, the staff report, correspondence, and all evidence presented today, and makes a recommendation to the City Council. For Level 3 applications, the City Council makes the final decision. The procedure for all Level 3 cases is as follows: a presentation by the planning staff, 10 minutes maximum; presentation by the applicant, 10 minutes maximum; comments by the public, 3 minutes per person; closing remarks by the planning and development staff, 3 minutes maximum; closing remarks by the applicant, 3 minutes maximum; closing of the public hearing, discussion, and vote by the board. Our Level 3 case today is case DVA 2012-03001B, 455 East Shore Drive. The owner is NESC LLC. Representative is Brian Ongst, McFarland Ferguson. The Community Development Board is reviewing and making a recommendation to the City Council of a proposed second amendment to an existing development agreement between the City of Clearwater and NESC LLC, as assigned by Lewis Developments LLC, which provides for certain changes which will permit certain commercial uses to take place within a limited portion of the marina facility component of the existing overnight accommodations per Community Development Code Section 4-606. Mr. Perry, hello today.
Thank you. Mark Perry, Planning and Development. If we can,
Madam Chair, at this time, I'd ask that you accept Mr. Perry as an expert in land use planning and all other matters that he's about to testify here to.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
thank you. If we can pull up the PowerPoint up here. The site is located primarily on the east side of East Shore Drive at the northeast corner of East Shore and Papaya. It's in the tourist district and the marina district of Beach by Design. It's been developed with a 139-unit hotel with a 50-slip dock, largely consistent with all of the prior approved flexible development and development agreement applications as have been amended. The most recent action that have taken place with this property was a reconsideration of Condition 5 of a previously approved flexible development application. The gist of that reconsideration was to allow for very limited commercial uses on 8 of the marina slips. As part of that process, after the reconsideration that this board approved the other month, it has to go back and amend the existing development agreement to reflect that language. So that's why we're here today. So this is the second amendment to this development agreement, and all of the changes revolve around allowing 8 of those slips as previously discussed at last month's meeting. They're all at the south side. They're highlighted in yellow. So there's been no changes to any aspect of that proposal. The planning department has reviewed the application and other submitted materials. The application formalizes the requirements of construction of on-site and off-site improvements as related to that amended flexible development application. The agreement complies with the standards and criteria of Section 4-606 of the Community Development Code, furthers the vision, goals, objectives, and policies of applicable portions of the comprehensive plan, and also the vision, goals, and objectives and policies of applicable portions of Beach by Design and the Marina District. In short, the Planning and Development Department supports a recommendation of approval by the Community Development Board to the City Council. If there are any questions, I'd like to try to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Perry.
Thanks.
Thank you, Madam Chair, board members. Happy holidays. Thank you for another year of service, and appreciate everything that you do for us and for the community, and how professionally and seriously you take your duties up here. We're very lucky to have you all serving the community. As Mr. Perry said, this is simply an amendment to a development agreement to codify the approval that you all made on October 19th at your CDB hearing. At that hearing, as Mr. Perry said, you approved an amendment to an existing development order. The original development order contained a condition 5 that no tenants conduct any commercial business from any slip in the marina. As you know, this plan has been amended multiple times by the City Council and approved every time by the CDB, and now it contains a 15-foot wide public boardwalk and a 50-slip marina. The staff and the City Council, I believe, will agree that the amendment is necessary to allow for full use of that boardwalk and for the public benefit of the community to attract people other than hotel guests to the boardwalk. And to support that intent, as Mr. Perry said, the site plan that was approved by the CDB, it's on the screen. I have it here in hard copy as well. And basically all that is being done to amend the development agreement, and the reason the development agreement needs to be amended is the original development order from 2010 is referenced in the development agreement as an exhibit there too. So what we had to do was amend the development order through the CDB, which we did in October, and now we have to amend the development agreement to reference the amended development order and attach that as a new exhibit. So that's why we have to go through this part of the process. It's unfortunate, but it was the way it was done back in 2011, 2010 to reference this old development order. So for legal reasons, we have to do that. That's all that's changing. It's exactly the same as what you approved before. 8 slips limited to the southernmost portion of the marina. And that's all specifically laid out that there will be no more than 8 of the 32 marina slips used for licensed charter vessels, and no more than 2 of the 8 slips may be used for licensed jet ski rentals, guided tours only, with multiple jet skis per trip. The 8 slips that may be used for licensed charter vessels pursuant to the terms of this condition shall be located on the southernmost marina slips as depicted in the approved site plan. There shall be no public cleaning or commercial sale of fish or amplified music at the marina. That's all we're doing, and I appreciate your time. I told Mr. Day I would make the presentation to confirm that for him on the record, and if he has any questions, or if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.
All right. Comments by the public?
My name is William Day, 473 East Shore Drive. Happy holidays to everybody. Just want to let you know that I have no opposition to this plan the way it's being modified.
All right, thank you. Anyone else in the public would like to comment? All right. Closing remarks, Mr. Perry? Closing remarks, Mr. Onks? All right. With that, we will close the public hearing and discussion and vote by the board.
I'll make the motion if nobody has anything to add. I move to recommend approval of this item based on findings of facts, conclusions of law, and the staff report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Do we have director's items today?
I do not have any. Thank you all for another wonderful year and have a nice holiday.
Thank you.
With that, the hearing is adjourned at 1:20. And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone.
Me too, thank you.
See you all next year.